Hi, sorry, this one's going to be a little shorter than normal. All of us are very short on time, and there's some stuff from this one we had to cut for stupid bullshit NDA reasons. Sorry, we'll be back to normal in another 2 weeks.
I started this conversation before we started recording by saying I've had an amazing week. Almost the entire Unity C-suite has been fired.
Oh my God.
And has been fired for some time, and they just didn't talk about it until now. The CEO is gone. The CFO is gone. The fucking every combination of letters in the alphabet you can imagine is gone. Now,
so how did this happen?
Board, I don't fucking know. I don't know. Why didn't they talk? Dude, if it was me, they literally just did a whole engine keynote presentation that I watched, and my thought was like, damn, that looks like they're actually responding to what developers want. The only thing holding me back now is knowing that all those motherfuckers were still in the C-suite. They're not anymore.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing. I would have announced that shit on stage as an engine. Do you remember the part of The Incredibles where he's like looking at the big screen and they're looking at all the terminated superheroes, like fucking Elastigirl Boy terminated, Mr. Clean terminated.
Yeah, just that. But like, there's a round of applause for every new face that appears.
They would have gotten a standing ovation. I'm not even. I can share all these people now because they're gone. But here's the thing. Here's what I will say. All right, the last CEO, a lot of people did say was a very nice guy. A lot of allegations of very positive conduct. If there's one thing that he had a lot of, it was allegations about conduct. And you can Google that. You can Google John Riccitiello allegations for more info on that if you want. He doesn't work at the company anymore. I'm just thrilled. I'm just happy. Hey, it's going to take like 6 months for all the shit they announced to drop to see if they actually stick the landing. See if they like stay focused on the shit that they're talking about being focused on.
If it's anything like my experience with software that has been shitified over years and years and years and years and years and years, it's going to take a lot more than 6 fucking months to unfuck Unity in all the ways it has fucked it.
The thing is, they're doing it. They're actually like fucking okay. I want you to imagine you're a fucking game developer in a decade ago. All right, you're using Unity. It is a small, tightly confined piece of software, and they've just announced that like the rendering engine, which is a pretty core part of the engine, is now going to be split off into like not only like 3 separate rendering pipelines that are incompatible with each other, but also like it's a fully modular thing. And so if you buy like an asset or a shader, you don't have any guarantee that it's going to work with the version of the rendering pipeline that you set up your game on.
Oh, so they did an Eevee, like they did an Eevee cycles blender thing.
Except imagine if now the version of Eevee you were using was completely untethered to the version of Unity that you were using. So like, so now the rendering engine of the software that you're using is like a moving target. And so like, and so like if you upgrade engine versions, like you might introduce some shit that's incompatible with the version of the renderer that you were using. But if you upgrade the renderer, it might break with your version of Unity. It's like introduced this fractally complicated nightmare into the core of the engine. All right. Now imagine living with that for 10 fucking years. And then that's not a full 10 years, right? Please tell me it hasn't been a full. No, it's been less than 10 years. But almost. All right, listen, time moves differently when you're in this space.
Yeah.
And now imagine seeing them go on stage and say, hey, we're getting rid of that shit. We're going to the unified rendering pipeline, all right? Everything, we're gonna like this thing that like branched out into craziness, we're gonna bring it all back into one fucking thing that you can rely on, and we're also gonna make the editor not run like shit. I'm there. I'm happy.
Okay, how did they say that? Did they admit that the editor was shit or what? Like how they really?
I don't think they used the word shit on stage. I would have, but I don't think they did. But like they had this extensive thing where like, hey, we know performance has gotten bad. By the way, when we say performance has gotten bad, I want you to imagine as a game, and this might be my last chance to shit on Unity. I want you to imagine, all right. You're using a piece of software, and with every release, it gets slower and slower. And their solution to that is not to like fix the performance problems, but to introduce a new type of loading bar that only counts up. and pops up anytime you do anything at all. It's like to the point where it's not even like they didn't even write a separate thing for every like operation. It just says the internal name of the function the engine is stuck on. It doesn't like have a % completed thing. All it knows is that it's like stuck on something.
I need you to imagine you're using Spotify, listener. I need you to imagine you're using Spotify, and then one day an update comes out. And by the way, you've noticed that Spotify has slowly become like really laggy and shit, and it just hangs and loads forever whenever you like click your library or something, or like try to make a playlist. I need you to imagine now the equivalent of this is that every time it does that, which is like all the fucking time, it now has a loading screen, but it's not like a progress bar. It's just a little spinny thing, and it just starts counting up until it's done. That's it.
Every time you hit play on a track, it's just, you have to wait. Don't know how long. Don't even know if it's like fully broken, and this is going to be up here for like 20 full hours until you finally decide to give up.
Yeah, you need to now map that experience onto stuff that is crucial to you doing things that will eventually lead to you making money to pay rent.
Yeah.
And you're starting to imagine what it's like to use Unity.
And at which point you might be wondering, why stick with it? Why not just go to a different engine? And the answer is because like the reason that this has been so painful for so long, for so many people, is that before all this happened, and at the core of Unity still is really great, and it lets you make games in a way that you really can't with other fucking engines. Like Unreal is very opinionated about like, here's all of our full suite of tools. It has so much shit, and it's your job to dig through all of them to find what you need to do the thing that you were going to do. Whereas with Unity, it really like, it's very, very malleable. You can turn it into whatever you want it to be. I love that. I love being able to like very quickly whip up exactly the thing that I want and no more and no less, and make tools for the people that I'm working with. Exactly. And it's like,
whereas in Unreal, it would be more like you need to already know a lot about Unreal so that you can know how to twist it into what you need rather than what Epic has made for you.
Yeah, it's a powerful engine, but it's also like fucking wading through molasses, and the UI is boring as fuck.
A lot of people would disagree with you on this, but a lot of people work in different ways. If Unity is what you are comfortable in, then switching away from Unity is far from trivial, because your entire workflow needs to adjust in order to accommodate the new tools.
Well, it's not even that. It's like I can work in both, and I just prefer working in the way that Unity lets me work. Unreal doesn't let me work that way.
Right.
And it has its own merits, but yeah.
I've said many times when you try to describe the tools to me, they're like, yeah, I think I'd prefer Unreal. As someone who doesn't program and who likes tweaking things that exist already, you've described Unreal as like a very intricate modding system, and like that sounds great to me because I get to learn about things that already exist and then change them to be what I want, and that's so much easier than starting from scratch because I have things to pull from. I work better that way, especially with like complex systems.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's it's a different way of working. It's a fundamentally different way of making things.
Yeah, like for me, like I enjoy specificity and being able to do exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, that's why it's been Madden. So it's been like seeing them pull now in the other direction and be like, we're gonna simplify everything again. We've fired our not our board director, but we fired a bunch of executives that were
I really want to know how that happened.
Me too. That has been fucking phenomenal. We will see what happens, but like the firing of the executives was on my list of things that I would need to happen in order to like have any faith in the company again. And just learning that it happened already, and that's been great. And then I also
I'm imagining like if I had heard today that like the entire board of directors had been wiped from the face of the earth who are in charge of Adobe, I might consider using Adobe products again. Like that's pretty huge.
Yeah, it's like that and a bunch of announcements that's like, hey, we recognize the performance problems that some of our software has.
Yeah, imagine Adobe saying, hey guys, listen, we know that Premiere has never had multi-core support that worked good. we see DaVinci, we're gonna work on that. Like, holy fuck, that would, oh my god, I would lose my mind if they did that.
One of the fucking things that Final Cut Pro spoiled me on was that like 99.9% of processing is always happening in the background. So like nothing blocks your ability to interface with the program. So like if you're doing something and it requires, like if I'm going to drag something into Unity and import it, if that takes like 10 minutes long, it doesn't take 10 minutes, but like if that even took 10 minutes long,
well,
there's no reason why that should block my ability to program something else on the game that has nothing to do with that.
Oh, you're so true.
But they recognize that. And so like one of the things that they showed, this is gonna be so fucking, I have no idea how other people, I need you to understand the idea of being able to just do stuff and then keep doing stuff while other stuff is happening is not a revolution, but it's like...
Right. No, oh my god, if there's one thing that makes me want to fucking blow people's heads off, and then mine, is when I'm trying to get shit done, and the program... You just like if we're getting really technical, so I propose that after this we walk it back.
Drive in.
But oh my fucking god, DaVinci and any other program's inability to let me generate proxy media while doing anything else is gonna make me drive off a cliff, dude. Yeah. Why? Programs are capable of doing multiple things, generating a version of a video that is usable. Yeah. You can do that while letting me do other things. I know you can. Yeah. I know you can.
By the way, I want to make this super clear just for literally everyone. What generating a proxy means is you take a video file and then you make a smaller version of it that is faster to edit with. And so the idea...
You know what that does in current version? The current version of the thing? You know what that does? I right click, I say generate, I pick the file location, and then I wait for at least 5 minutes. Usually more. If I need to batch generate a bunch of proxy media, which I have to do very often, because lo and behold, when you're shooting video, you shoot a lot of video and you edit it down. When I need to do that, I need to leave my computer on overnight. Because, and I don't have a weak computer. It's a pretty fucking decent rig. I can't do my job until I wait 10 million years for the program to think.
That's the thing. It's like if it takes overnight to do that, and that's just a fact of life, that's 100% fine, right? It's the fact that like you can't do anything else while it's happening. It's the fact that like
exactly.
I can't use any part of DaVinci while the video transcoder is making a smaller version of a bunch of files.
It's not just that it makes you watch a loading screen. It's that the whole fucking program locks up until it's done.
Yeah.
And the only thing you can do is press the cancel button. That's it. So like, what I wouldn't give to have a version of this where it's like, just dedicate 50% of the processing power you normally would to this, just throttle it at a certain amount and let me do my fucking job in the meantime. It's so good. He's so good.
And it exists in other projects.
I don't think that's too much to ask.
Yeah. It's from experience using that kind of shit in some tools, it's nice. And so like seeing them like pick up on that and be like, we should probably do this in our editor that's like notorious for throwing up blocking loading screens all the time. That shit was good. That was good. Hey, if there's a world, if there's a world where Unity becomes good, that would be so fucking awesome because there's so much stuff I like about it. There's so much stuff I genuinely like about it. And I know there's a lot of people that care working at that company. And for the first time, I have hope that like, they're being listened to.
You sound like me talking about Adobe Flash. I still call it Flash because like, oh my God, there's a lot wrong with that program, but at its core, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. And what's crazy is that it's not even designed to be an animation program. It got retrofitted into that because it turns out it's better at being an animation program than at the thing it's designed to do, which is create, Flash interactive game thingies for the old internet that doesn't exist anymore. It was so good at doing that. It was so good.
That I get to now live out your alternate universe fantasy of like, what if that was repaired?
No, there's no fucking way. It blows my mind that program, Flash, really simple. Really fucking simple at its core. It's just a bunch of shapes, like computerized vector shapes, which if you don't understand what that means, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Just understand that at its core, it's a pretty fucking simple thing because it ran on computers from the mid 2000s. Fine. At its core, that's still the technology it's using. But it runs worse now than it did back then, despite it being the same basic fucking thing. I'm sorry, no. I'm getting worked up. I'm actually getting worked up thinking about it.
No, yeah.
Every time they introduce a new feature, the entire program runs measurably slower. And I don't understand how that's possible. I don't understand how your animation program struggles to run at a full 24 frames per second when it is arguably one of the most important programs to do that ever. Like I struggle to think of many workflows in existence wherever reflecting timing of a thing accurately at a reasonable speed is important.
Yeah,
you know, like I'd argue that editing it is less crucial to be performant than an animation.
I don't know
because 1/24 of a second is like crucial in this field. It's like that's the kind of difference I'm paying very close attention to. And it will just skip frames. Like a lot of them. And it will just go out of sync with the audio on the timeline for no reason. And it won't tell you. And I've worked with people who didn't know that that's how it works because they were used to using other programs that behaved like normal fucking technology where it does the thing it's telling you it's doing.
Yeah.
There's a reason I stopped.
The only thing I disagree with there is like 1/24 of a second. I think that's equally important in editing and animation for like the same reasons, but at the same time, holy shit.
Yeah. No, it's really brought to the forefront whenever it's like animation is like literally the thing. Yeah. With editing, there's a lot more going on. It's not always crucial. If you're doing audio editing, you don't necessarily always need to have that precise amount of timing. With animation, you literally don't need it to be perfect. I can't work without it being perfect because then I'm guessing. And if I'm guessing, I'm going to get shit wrong because of course I will. And that was my default way of working with that program, was accounting for its problems and trying to figure out what it would work, or what it would do, how it would behave actually when I pressed render.
Yeah, there are projects right now that with Unity, I'm like, I want to make this in that software actually, especially with these improvements, but like I can't imagine doing that until this update that they're talking about comes out and I get to see it for myself. And it's not just a trust thing, it's also like the working around the program makes my output worse. Having to wait a long time between making changes makes me less willing to experiment because I'm on a deadline and I get scared of doing things that might be fucking awesome because I know that they might take a little bit longer, which means after you funnel that through, like you're dealing with all this program's problems, it might take a lot longer or might break in ways that it's just wasting time. And it's just like, fuck.
Dude, I did the exact same fucking thing with Flash, where it's just like, if I knew that it was going to cause me problems, and I tended to know the kinds of things that it would usually be temperamental with, but every now and again, it still found ways to surprise me. But usually I knew what to expect from it. And so it stopped me from doing certain things. Like one of the reasons that I thought for a while that I actually just did not enjoy animation is because I had to work through that program and that was my only outlet for animation. And in order to minimize risk of like the program crashing or corrupting or just shitting, I would do things in the most simple way possible, because doing them in a complicated way taxed the program more, and I knew it would make my job harder. So I just took shortcuts wherever I possibly could, because I knew I'd get it done faster, and the faster I got my work done, the less time I would spend using Adobe Flash.
Yeah, and that's a terrible place to be in as a creative person whose job is making creative things, like being scared of making.
Imagine if every time you wanted to just do something fun, you had to like roll a die, and if it landed on, you roll a couple dice. If it landed on snake eyes, then you'd be administered an electric shock.
If it landed on if it landed on snake eyes, you wouldn't be administered an electric shock.
Presumably, you had other things to talk about aside from just dancing upon old Unity's potential grave.
And witnessing its potential resurrection.
Rebirth is a better word, I believe.
Yeah. Hey.
You have other things going on in your life.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah. I have a newfound... I hate Big Buck Bunny and I wish he was dead.
Oh, God. Oh, are we going here?
I hate Big Buck Bunny and I wish he was dead and I wish he was buried in the ground.
No.
I wish he was dead and I hate him so much, Julian.
Okay. So, we're here. Man, you said you had a good week and then you take us here?
I triumphed in the end.
Okay.
And this needs to be talked about.
Okay.
This needs to be out of me.
I am your breast. I am Mr. Beast. New game from Strange Scaffold. That if you haven't played it, you really should. It released recently. And upon launch, Sam had worked on that game for like maybe an hour or two while helping other people who were actually...
Yeah. So up until launch, the extent of my work on this, I was just about to just call it Mr. Beast. Jesus Christ. On I Am Your Beast,
I am your breast.
It was 1 hour. Fuck you. It was 1 hour. I was just like helping get Steam achievements in. That was it. So I got to like play it for the first time on launch. It was upsettingly good.
Oh, it's so good. How do you make a game that's like all about speedrunning and being the most badassest guy ever, but even if you suck at dog shit at FPS games, it's still fun as fuck? How'd they do that?
I'm sucks dog shit at FPS games.
Oh, I can attest to that.
I like being the kind of training weights on my team. I like kind of bringing them down a little bit so that they get to overachieve. That's besides the point. Listen, game's really fucking good in a way that is very visibly obvious the instant that you look at it. And I realized after
perfect Twitter game in a way, because like one of the strongest things about this game from a marketing perspective is that you look at it and you immediately understand what's compelling about it at a glance.
Oh,
no matter what level of gameplay you're looking at, watching someone play this game is almost as much fun as playing this game, and that's not the case with a lot of fucking games.
Yeah. I want to take out this moment of time to call out Dan. You motherfucker. I've seen you in the comment. I know you're listening to this. Can we get it? You know what'll really fucking show him? Can everyone
Dan works at Strange Scaffold, everyone.
Yeah, fucking programmer, designer extraordinaire. Oh, look at me. I'm Dan. I'm like fucking incredible at my job.
Fuck you.
Okay, can we get in the comments a congratulations, Dan? Can we get a we love Dan? That'll really fucking show him. That'll show him what for. Can we get thanks, Dan?
Can we get an unsubscribed, Dan? Can we get that? Can we get a do not talk to either of us anymore, Dan?
No, hey.
I have never spoken to Dan, I don't think.
I'm exclusively Dan positive, all right? I'm very pro Dan.
Yeah.
But what the fuck was I talking about before? Oh, I think I just wanted to do that. But yeah, I realized I was in the strange position of being able to do the thing people joke about of like showing up to work at a company and then doing the one thing you care about and then leaving.
Yeah.
And so video recording was something
you thought
I envisioned.
It would be so
I envisioned it as
you
a
were
2-hour
so
project.
confident. That's one of the reasons you were so gung-ho about it, because you thought it would just be in and out. Just fucking whatever.
You just download one of the like 5 screen recording assets on the Unity asset store. You tell it start and stop recording, and then you're done.
Yeah.
And so
this is work other people have done it for you.
And work I've used these assets before. So I downloaded what I purchased for $95.
Oh, I didn't know you had past experience with them.
No, I purchased for $95, billed to the company, a screen recording asset that I thought I used before, and I downloaded it. And then I said, start recording. And then I said, stop recording. And then I said, tell me where you put the video, and I'll stick it on the end of the path on the computer where I want it. And so I did that. And then it told me the path of the video was c:/users/work/https://youtube.com/watch?? And then I
didn't know this.
And I was like, what? On account of that being really a fucking weird thing. And so I copied and pasted the YouTube link into my web browser and was greeted with the full 4K Ultra HD upload of Big Buck Bunny, the 2008 Blender Open movie about a big fucking bunny that like torments a squirrel for fucking with it.
Yeah.
This moment broke something in me that I didn't think could be broken. Yes.
No, it
yes,
didn't.
It did. Yes, it. Hey.
No. This was the beginning. I watched this happen. This was not. This was nothing compared to where you went. A branch
cannot fall from a tree without first a crack. I then went to just almost every other asset on the Unity store that was meant to record screen, and they all failed in some embarrassing way.
You're making it sound like that first extension, its job was just to redirect to Big Buck Bunny, which is not true. It's supposed to do something else.
Am I making it sound like that?
Yeah,
it's a screen recording. It says cross-platform screen recorder. And apparently it's only cross-platform on mobile, and if you're on any other platform, it links you to Big Buck Bunny. I didn't fucking know that! I'm sorry. I'm sure it works really, really well on every platform that it's meant to work well on. I'm still trying to get a refund because that's not something that I am doing. But I went to every other screen recording app that wasn't the $300 one, and they all failed in different ways. So I had a moment where I was just like, fuck it. I'm clocking out. I'm on my own time now. I'm just gonna do this shit myself. And then I had to learn a lot about patent law. But between a kind listen, we're gonna get back to that. But like until then.
Remember when he said he had a good week, everyone?
I had a great week. I did a lot of really fun performance optimization shit to make a good screen recorder up until the point where you have to encode it into a video, at which point the patent law kicks in. But like, listen, I had a fun time making this work.
Listener, for at least 3 or 4 days straight into what Sam repeatedly described as a 1 to 2 hour long endeavor, all that I heard about was Big Buck Bunny. I was seeing GIFs of it everywhere. Whenever I joined a VC, like a work chat, it's all he would talk about. I'm not exaggerating. It actually tormented him, and then he tormented me with that. I at a certain point, I genuinely started talking to Sam like 10% less because I knew he was in the trenches, and I was going to hear about Big Buck Bunny again. And I didn't want that.
Listen,
I waited until that era was over.
9 times out of 10. That was not me bringing it up. That was someone else posting a fucking Big Buck Bunny reaction gif to something else in the chat unprompted.
Yeah, that's right.
And that would be like, fuck this. Like and it's not that I would like go on extended rants about the rabbit. It's that everything in some way
you did though. You did do that at least twice.
That's not that many times over the course of a week. It's more than most people. I will say that is more than normal people do on like an average day.
Oh, it sure is. I'll agree with that.
But most of the time it was just like everything like on the editor of the screen recorder in Unity, I have a thing that's set to only compile in the editor, so like you won't find it in the release if you look through the code. But it is just a text box that just says, I hate Big Buck Bunny and I wish he was dead. That is that shows up every time you show up to change the screen recorder settings. And it works with a minor exception that I'm still thinking about how to figure out, which is that
there's a reason it was released as a beta feature.
Yeah. In large part, that is because the H.264 video codec, if that means anything to you, is patented by like 8,000 different people that have all come together to form what they call a patent alliance. And there is, hey, if you up to 100,000 users, you can encode H.264 video for free. But after that,
listener, this is a lot of technical jargon bullshit. What it basically boils down to is that one of the most common and useful video standards for encoding video, which is the process of making a video into a thing you can view on your phone or whatever, is locked behind 10 million patents. Yeah. Even though it's ubiquitous and everyone uses it because it's a good codec and it's really useful.
And
we all love that codec. It's really good. It's really good.
It's so upsetting because it's like not only that, but like the downstream effects of that being that popular and also locked to like if you pay them fees for like per download of your thing, is that like it means that there are other video codecs that exist, but like they're not as well supported. And if you want to like, you know, hey, turn a thing into a different type of video. Not only is there no guarantee that's going to be supported on the platforms that you want to upload it to, but it also like those encoders are usually not as fast because like if you are a graphics card manufacturer, and you want to like have some special hardware acceleration support for video codecs, why would you choose the less popular ones when you could make it super fast for anyway?
Seeing this manifest, it was so funny because I know how you felt, but it wasn't me this time. And so I would just, I'd hop in and I'd see like, just in a random general chat, I'd see you saying like on day 5, like, I think I figured it out. I think I got it. And then 1 hour would go by.
It'd be like a video of a rotating cube.
Yeah.
Again, that was like not play quite well.
Or it would just be like a video but it's like half a gigabyte and Twitter telling you can't upload a file this big, dude.
No, hey,
worried you'd have to completely redesign your thing.
It's worse than that. It's worse than that because what it was saying was I got it encoding as like a WebM video and that worked fine.
Oh, but no one likes WebM, even though WebM is
incredibly widely supported. It works in Discord. But if you upload it to Twitter, for whatever reason, if you have a 100 megabyte MP4, Twitter is completely fine with it. If you have a 100 megabyte WebM file,
it'll crunch it down.
It will just reject it until you can get it under 5 megabytes.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Anyway, and it won't take the type of MP4 anyway.
Oh boy. I remember whenever you considered just putting Handbrake, which is an open source like retranscoding thing, into I Am Your Beast.
The first
just cramming it in there.
The first 2 solutions I thought about were like, can I just fucking throw OBS in and invoke it as a command line thing?
Fucking OBS, and just cram the whole OBS into your fucking video game.
Or like, can I? But the problem is just like, I mean, one with OBS, it's hard to use that well with command line without a whole bunch of other shit installed, but also with Handbrake, it's the patent. Yeah. It's the fucking patent.
I mean, also with OBS, it's like, it's not the most performant thing in the world.
Is performant.
It's also really funny to me that if this was a console exclusive thing, that this would just be a non-issue.
Yeah.
It's specifically only on PC that this is a problem, which is the only platform that I Am Your Beast is on right now.
And here's the thing, like Steam does also have like a built-in screen recording feature, but it's still in beta and you have to turn it on and it's a whole thing. The reason that like...
And no one uses it, no one knows about it. It's just like, it's not easy.
Yeah.
The whole point of this implementation is that you wanted to streamline the ability to share gameplay with people, because currently you have to kind of know your way around a couple things if you want to screen record your thing, or you have to use proprietary software or hardware or whatever else.
Like activating Shadow Play, activating OBS and the setting to record is like, there are people that will do that, but it's a lot of friction. It's a lot of like, that's a fraction of the player base that actually will do those things, which may be hard to imagine for one of those people, but like...
Right, but like you want to remove as many barriers for as many people as possible, because not only is this a fun thing, and not only is this game uniquely like perfect for sharing with people, but that's also good marketing. Mm-hmm. So like, you're in a very unique position with this game, wherever you have so many reasons to make this specific action as easy as possible for as many people as possible.
Yeah.
And so it's not the hardest thing in the world if you put your mind to it and you're used to this, but not everyone is in that position. A lot of people are used to just pressing the share button on the PS5, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, the screen recorder was something that I just decided to do on my own to make it happen.
Hopefully this is something that can be applied to other games moving forward in Unity. Yes,
that's the hope. That's where the spite is taking me. I don't know if this is something that I end up packaging into a releasable thing. I don't know if I'll need to like take it through a couple of other projects first. We'll see. Hey, Unity 6.1, don't fuck it up.
Hey,
just keep doing what you're doing and we'll be fine. All right, you're on a good path.
It would actually be like pretty fucking cool if you were able to like turn this into a thing you could sell, because it sounds like there's a market for it.
Yeah.
Despite what you believed before making the tool.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this will be a thing I throw up somewhere and sell for a couple dollars.
Yeah.
Just despite the $100 fucking hey, I'm sure it works great. Don't call it the cross-platform screen recorder if it only works on mobile. Don't call it the cross-platform screen recorder if on every platform...
Hey, it is cross-platform. It works on Android. It works on iPhone. What else do you want?
It's so... And hey, on other platforms, it does do something.
On this platform, it does something too. It's just not what you wanted. Yeah. Unless you wanted to watch Big Buck Bunny, then it's really good at that. It's really good at doing that.
If I never hear those 4 syllables again in my entire life, because I made a mistake, because I made a bit out of it, and it got out of hand.
Oh, it's not your bit anymore. It's everyone else's bit. You just live in it now.
People started on Twitter when I started posting it. They started fucking DMing me reaction gifs of Big Buck Bunny 2. There was like, in my replies, it was everywhere. I couldn't escape. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw his face.
People who are close to you have like created Big Buck Bunny gifs that like are captioned "Hi Sam" just to like as a thing to start conversation.
So
with you now.
Mean. Everyone is.
You're not
to
escaping
me.
it.
Good thing no one's gonna listen to this.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Everyone, if you wanna just like
hey.
Actually, you know what? No, I was about to say a joke, but actually there's no version of this joke that isn't you all getting flagged as spam for posting a link to Big Buck Bunny. So it just
for a brief, I don't know. Brief second,
DM Sam a link to the video on Twitter if you want.
Why was that not your problem with the bit? What was your only problem with the what? How is my well-being?
So funny though. If your DMs were just unusable for a week, it would be so
my
funny.
DMs are already unusable. I'm a fucking like several 10,000 unread emails in my inbox guy. This means nothing to me. I am impervious to your bullets. All right.
Oh, you're just saying that so that people don't do it. You're just lying so that people are discouraged from doing the funny thing.
I am telling the God's honest truth.
I don't believe you. I straight up don't believe you.
I'll send you a screenshot of my Gmail. Not that it'll do anything to call off the hounds.
Oh, it's not the Gmail. It's the DMs. It's
that
different.
one is also completely flooded. The only reason I saw it is because I was looking for a DM for someone else. There's also a sex toy company that wanted me to send them pictures of my penis.
So you do read the DMs?
Just the one time.
Oh, okay.
I probably should close my DMs at some point, actually, because I will feel
oh, dude. Oh, best decision of my life was doing that, dude. Can't recommend it enough. I think I think what I'm doing right now is giving you just that final push that you need to close your DMs. Listener, if you go to his account and you can't DM him, that means that all of us together, we did a good thing.